Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. And now we're watching some NFL football as we have a great Monday Night Football game as the New Orleans Saints defeat the Houston Texans 30-28. And hopefully you did not turn away from this football game when there was only 1 minute left. It had appeared, only not even a minute, only 50 seconds left. The Saints were up in this game 27-21, and we had 10 more points that were scored in this game and a number of highlights in the last 50 seconds. Hopefully you did not adjust your television screens. I did not. I didn't go anywhere because although I do have my doubts about the Houston Texans this year, I have them making the playoffs as a wild card team. And although I do have my doubts about Deshaun Watson, he is a guy that's proven that he can always lead you down the field for a game-winning drive. He has the second most game-winning drives in the past 2 seasons. I think 2 seasons. He has the second most game-winning drives. This is not someone you should take your eyes off of with only 50 seconds left in the football game, especially when he has DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, and Kenny Stills. 3 guys that can absolutely take it over the top and beat you. 1, 2, 3 guys right there. Okay, you just can't take your eyes off of it. And my goodness, what a finish as Deshaun Watson leads his team down, doesn't even take the lead, ties the game, and then Jaime Fairbairn comes along, the kicker for the Houston Texans, misses the extra point, and then is roughed by a New Orleans Saints player. I'm sorry, I don't remember who he was, but is roughed by New Orleans Saints defender. He gets a second shot at it. He makes it. Texans take the lead by 1 point, and then Drew Brees does what Drew Brees does. He leads his team down the field for a game-winning field goal by Will Lutz, and we got to give most of the credit to Will Lutz. I mean, 58-yarder, that is a tall task, and he absolutely stepped up to the plate and hit it. And I told you this game was going to be a shootout. I had the Houston Texans losing this game 35-38. But I told you, you better bet money on the Texans +7. I hope you bet money on the Texans +7. And not only that, I hope you put money on my guarantees this week, people. 5-1-1 for my guarantees this week. And the loss and the tie I had, dude, one was the LA Rams, a -3 against the Panthers. That was the push that I had. They were up by 10 points with like a minute left. And then the other one was the Detroit Lions, who were up by 18 in the fourth quarter. I should have been 7-0 for my guarantees this week. I mean, this is one of the best investments you can make on the market right now, my guarantees. I mean, this is just, last year I was 58%. What percentage is that? 5 of 7? What is that, over 60%? No, that's easily over 60%. That's 71% right now, my guarantees. Jesus Christ, we just eating good. And by the way, if you don't even count the push, I'm 83% actually, if you don't even count the push. And I don't even know how to count the push, to be quite honest with you, but you probably shouldn't count it as an L. So love my guarantees right now. Fantastic there. I made money this weekend. I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man. So this game went exactly the way I thought it would. I told you it was going to be a shootout. I thought it was going to be 38-35. But the offense, it took a little while to get going, and maybe I should have saw that coming since we saw signs of that in the preseason with a lot of NFL offenses. But yeah, man, I'm really happy this week with how much money I racked in. But yeah, just look at the game overall. These two teams are what I thought they were. Although, actually, no, they are what I thought they were, honestly. You look at the New Orleans Saints who won this game. I have them going 10-6 this year. I have them winning the NFC South, and they should feel confident about that, as they won their game, and every single team in their division this week did not. However, we do have a long season ahead of us, and I have no doubt that the Falcons and the Panthers will be formidable, and we'll be close to them, and we're going to have to keep our eyes on that situation moving forward. But they're the only NFC South team that won this week, so that's good news for them. Their defense is still concerning, and even their best players like Marcus Lattimore, Like, he had some great plays today. He was showing up in the run game, being formidable there. But he let up that last pass to DeAndre Hopkins, man. You can't do that late in the game. And then what was Marcus Williams, who had an interception today, which was actually, it wasn't Marcus. Yeah, it was Marcus Williams. And Marcus Williams had an interception today, right? That's great. But then why is this guy, not over the top of DeAndre Hopkins? Why is he allowing him to have, the outside leverage to the sideline on that throw? The last throw to DeAndre Hopkins when Deshaun Watson took them down the field to take the lead. So the good thing is, though, for the Saints, you had to like your pass rush today, but I'm not convinced. You went up against a horrible offensive line. A horrible offensive line at Houston, which is one of the worst offensive lines in the league. They proved that today. Not only did they allow sacks today, they got plenty of holding calls as well. So plenty of issues on the Houston Texans offensive line. But Alvin Kamara is still a beast. I mean, this guy is still such a stud. I mean, my God, this guy continues to stay on his feet. I mean, God gave this guy an incredible gift of balance and center of gravity that I'll never understand. And I saw it at University of Tennessee. I don't understand why they did not play this guy at University of Tennessee more. Tennessee wonders why they stink. They have people in-house like Alvin Kamara who they don't play. I mean, it's just incredible what's going on in Tennessee. Tennessee stinks. But Alvin Kamara is definitely the best thing to come out of Tennessee in the past decade. I mean, seriously. And he didn't play. It's incredible what's going on over in Tennessee. But anyway, Kamara is a beast. He's such a beast. And Michael Thomas as well. And, they still, and Ted Ginn actually had a great game. Ted Ginn had over 100 receiving yards today. And Jerry Cook did some things. But I still don't love the depth in this wide receiver core. Roquan Smith had a couple catches, but nothing very impressive. They're going to need to get more wide receiver depth to me. I thought Antonio Brown could have been a destination spot for him in New Orleans, but they didn't go down that road. New England Patriots, took care of that. So I'll watch the situation moving forward, but I still have my doubts about their depth there, and I think their defense still isn't good enough. And they still don't have the killer mentality. They don't know how to finish games. Drew Brees bailed them out today as he had plenty of times over, but the defense should have closed the deal today. Absolutely. And not only did they not close the deal, it took Deshaun Watson 13 seconds. Took him 13 seconds. He had 50 seconds, took him 13. I guess maybe you have to give credit to the defense because they just gave Brees enough time. I guess that's the argument. Maybe that's the argument some Saints fans are going to say that, hey, we just gave Drew Brees time. That was our goal. We're not going to win the game for you. Let's just give Drew Brees as much time as possible. But, I mean, look, it's still a win. And, again, you're the only NFC South team that won today, so that's good. Let's see who you guys face next week. But this was the win I expected you to get. I expected you to win by 3. You won by 2. I expected it to be a shootout. It definitely was late. I'm not surprised or shocked by this game at all whatsoever. So real quick, let me look up the Saints. And then we move on to the Houston Texans. And, exactly what I expected from the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson does look pretty damn good, though. I mean, I'll be honest, okay? I mean, you guys know I came up with a great moniker, the great nickname of the Fraud Watson. It's still fantastic. It's still great. I'm still going to call him that because it's one of the best nicknames of all time. I don't care what anyone says. The Fraud Watson is it's a beautiful nickname. But he looked pretty damn good. Now, he definitely threw the ball up sometimes, and he's still a risk heavy quarterback. He throws the ball up, and sometimes he gets picked off, and sometimes he gets lucky, and DeAndre Hopkins bails him out, or in this case, Will Fuller had a great catch, and he bailed him out. So he's still going to have his interceptable passes, and some will be intercepted, and some will be touchdowns. That's his move. We'll see if he can win in the playoffs with that move. All I know is when he played in the playoffs this past year, 21-7, couldn't do nothing. Okay, so he still has a lot to prove in terms of being able to win in the playoffs in this league. Okay, he still has a lot to prove in terms of that, but the guy can play. I mean, I have to concede that the guy led his team down, made great throws, and he has great wide receivers for sure, but he knows how to deliver the football. And he has a horrible offensive line. And speaking of, Laramie Tunsil, I don't even understand where this narrative came from that Laramie Tunsil's elite. What are y'all talking about? Laramie Tunsil was a guy that was projected to be a number 1 pick coming out before he got caught with that bong. But in terms of his NFL production, he's not been great. Last year, he was finally good. Years before that, he was mediocre. Now, he's 25. He'll probably get better. He might become elite, but he's not elite right now, and he almost lost them the game. In fact, you may even be able to argue that he did, but I won't argue that. But, he's the one that got Deshaun Watson sacked when they were about to get in field goal range to tie the game. And then maybe if they tie the game, then maybe their defense, is able to stop Drew Brees. And the next play, they go to overtime. Maybe they win the game. Maybe you can make that argument. I won't make that argument. But still, he almost cost them the game there, right? Point blank period, getting beat by Trey Hendrickson. Like, this is not a guy that Larry Tunsil should be getting beat by. And then another play, he allowed a sack. He wasn't blocking anyone. He just moved to the second level for no reason, and then didn't even block Alex Anzalone, who was a linebacker who was on the second level in front of him. So this is completely baffling there, and he has to develop, rapport with this offensive line. I understand that, but I look at those two individual plays, and that had nothing to do with camaraderie to me. Maybe the first one, but I don't know. I think you have to know as a tackle, hey, I better block somebody, especially as Deshaun Watson's blind side. And if he keeps continuing to perform like this, Deshaun Watson's not going to make it through the year. So Larry Tunsil has to play better. The rest of this offensive line is god-awful. Seantrell Henderson is one of the worst tackles I've ever seen. This has been true. This continues to be true. And the quicker they can move on to right tackle, the better. He is awful. He will get Deshaun Watson hurt. The rest of this offensive line, we're waiting on Titus Howard to, improve. And he's a rookie. We'll see about him and, whatever. But it's a work in progress. And the good thing is Deshaun Watson and these wide receivers can still bail them out and put up points. But it's just concerning. It's concerning right now. The run game was interesting. They ran a lot with Carlos Hyde today. They gave Carlos Hyde 10 carries. He had 83 yards. So go ahead and run to your waiver wires in your fantasy football leagues and try to pick up Carlos Hyde, because this looks like a guy that's going to be putting up some points. Duke Johnson, 9 carries for 57 yards. So they had great success running the football. Could they run it more? Yeah. I mean, honestly, they probably should have ran it more with the kind of success that they were having. Especially considering the fact that Watson got sacked 6 times and that moved them backwards instead of when they consistently were getting yards running the football. So definitely Bill O'Brien was questionable in terms of his play calling there. But Kenny Stills had the game-winning touchdown, which you have to love to see, the 37-yard touchdown, which was fantastic. So he looks like he's going to be another weapon for this offense, and he will be needed when Will Fuller V eventually gets injured, because we know that's coming. And how about a game for Whitney Mercilus? Had an interception today, a sack today. He was fantastic, and this is a big deal because we're going to need him to step up without Jadeveon Clowney, right? That's definitely the guy that we're looking at, that we're pinpointing, that we're circling. So he had a great game, and you had to, love his performance. DJ Reader had a nice push on a play where Mercilus got a sack. J.J. Watt was a little quiet today. In fact, he didn't register on the sack sheet, so that was interesting. But they were dedicating a lot of resources over there to blocking him, so it's understandable. So overall, New Orleans Saints, they win the game, and next week they go up against the LA Rams in LA. Rams weren't great this week. I mean, they won. They were in Carolina, so it was still a strong win, but Jared Goff only put up like 186 yards and was a little rusty for sure. It's a winnable game. I don't think I'm going to pick you to win that game, but it's a winnable game. I might, actually. I won't completely discount that. But I don't think I'm going to right now. But we'll see. And then after that, you also travel to Seattle, and then you host the Dallas Cowboys. Those are 3 teams that had making the playoffs this season. Those are 3 playoff teams in the NFC to me. I don't know, you are as well. So it's going to be interesting. Don't freak out. If you start at like 2-2 there, maybe 1-3, although I doubt that. I think it's at least 2-2 there. So don't freak out if that's the case. I think you'll still be fine. You'll be 10-6. I'm not sure if you guys are Super Bowl contenders this year, but you guys are still playoff teams to me. And as long as the Panthers and Falcons don't take that step, and they're not ready yet, Week 1 showed us they're not ready yet to take that step in the Bucs. No, we're not going to start on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're definitely not ready. As for the Houston Texans, next week they host the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes! So they can beat each other up for me. One of them will be 0-2, most likely, unless we have another ridiculous tie in this league. So go ahead. One of them going to already be dead in the water for me. And I expect the Texans to win that game in Houston, absolutely, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Unless if the Jaguars defense comes out ready to play, and they could. And if they get after Deshaun Watson, then it could get ugly. He was sacked 6 times today against a worse defense that he'll be facing next week. So that is a little concerning. Josh Allen, Calais Campbell, and company are coming to town. Yannick Ngakoue and everybody. So look out for that, but I do expect the Texans to win that game. With that, so we'll move on to the chat, and then we'll get out of here. And I want to watch this, disastrous Monday Night Football game where apparently the Raiders are actually